Alright, welcome back to Taco Bola Gaming. My name is Taco Bola. We will continue our tutorial series playing as Castile. And so a couple of things. I cannot core this because it's not in coring range because it's not directly next to a core or on the ocean. Colony is not a core. So I can't core it, but I can convert it. And so at 0.54 ducats for 30 some odd months, we'll just convert it, and that will work great. The other thing is that we are almost completing our colonial nation. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. It's going to be very, very soon that we're going to have that done. At which point, I wish to attack Lucia. But my army is going to be down here dealing with rebels. At least the army that is for the south there, or for South America. So we need to figure out what we're going to do about that. I have two options. One, I can leave an army that is big enough to deal with any rebels here in Castile. 2, and send the rest over. 2, I could just make a new army. I certainly, probably don't have enough money to do that, but it's an option. Or the far more likely thing is that I will just provoke the main rebels I'm worried about. Portugal hasn't moved very far in forever. And these two guys are in South America anyway. So the only one I'm really worried about is this one. So if you have Emperor, you can click Provoke here. Instead, I can do a couple of things here. Now, I can harsh treat them, but I want to save as much military power as I can to make sure I can take the tech on time. So basically, I have to provoke them. Right now, they have a 25% chance, roughly, of increasing the progress by 10% each month, based on how much unrest is in their provinces. There are 3 provinces, and you'll notice that Tangiers is 5 lower than the other 2. That is because I'm standing on it. Queta is at 0 because I took it a long time ago. Remember, I took that a long time ago from Portugal, so there's no unrest there. We don't have to worry about that. So if I move my army over here, now they will have a greater chance of rebelling. If I get to the next month, there we go. Now they should have a greater chance of rebellion, certainly have more unrest. On top of that, there's a couple other things I can do. Right now, I am working to convert that province, but in the interest of provoking a rebellion, I'm going to lower that down. We are 2% of the way through. I'm going to take the provinces that are the highest. I'm going to put my missionaries on at least one of those provinces. That will increase the unrest in that particular province, and we will have a chance of going up, and they still won't do it. It's only a chance. I'm still going to wait on that. That's all you can do to provoke a rebellion without DLC. So I think I'm going to wind up with choice number 2. We're going to remove that missionary. We're going to redo the missionary maintenance up. And without any reinforcements, I actually have 7 0.54 ducats. So I could just train another army. And at this point, that might be the way to go. I'm not sure that the army is going to be done in time if I train it over in the New World. Because apparently I can't train a new person in my subject. Which I thought I could, but apparently I can't. So, I think I'm just going to train here. No, I'm going to just take half. I'm going to keep my money around. I like being able to do 3 at a time. So I'm going to take half the army. Not that half. Stay here. That half. Because it has the cannons. And hopefully that will work itself out. And meanwhile, we will be all set up. And hopefully, we will be able to show you something in the peace deal. Alright, so there are natives in this colony. Alright, we'll deal with that in a moment. And I don't want to have natives in this colony. Get rid of that. So we have tariffs. Every colonial nation has a tariff. There's also a global tariff. But every colonial nation has a tariff. If you go into the subject interaction screen, to the colonies have that kind of half flag over here. You can decrease tariffs, you can increase tariffs. I believe both cost administrative power, decrease cost less. Higher tariffs will increase liberty desire, which means that you can have less in terms of, I'm going to pay off their debt, which means that you can have less in terms of size of the colony before it becomes a problem. And the colony is going to keep growing. It's just going to keep growing, usually stuck to its colonial region, but sometimes not. But the tariffs will be a improved amount of money. So the higher the tariff, the more money that you give. You can see right here, right now the global tariff is at 10%, so our income is 0.13 from our colonies. If I were to increase the tariff, that would be a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. I'm going to tell them to siege. You will get these events. And you can say to tax it, and then that colony gains a 5% tariff value, so you get more taxes every month. The other option is better leave it be, and you get a 33% chance of one of these things. I think it is you will get one of them and not a 33% chance at all of them. But it could be, you get a 33% chance at one of them, so it doesn't matter. I always choose the better leave it be. I have found that you're not relying upon the money that your colonies give you in taxes. What you're relying upon for them is the money they give you in trade power and in the merchant that they will give you, and in the fact that they are free men. Not only their armies, but they increase your force limit. I have never worried about tariffs being too large. I don't spend admin to decrease them, but I really don't I don't ever hit this tax button. I just don't. I always leave it be. If I get the power, great. But I just always leave it be. We got military. I don't find that little bit of extra stuff is that great for me. All right, so we have Birth of Colonial. We didn't get it. So Birth of Colonialism. So anytime after 1500, you can have colonialism spawn. It is the next one. I am stunned that we didn't get it. I guess Portugal's an okay place to get it, but they had 3 chances to get it, and they actually got it. Okay. So if you get colonialism, which Castile gets it at least half games, I'd say half the games I play, then you will gain, I think, 100 of every administrative power, and you already have a colony that has it, or a province that would have it present. Otherwise, obviously, it will grow in the capital of any nation that has a colonial nation in the Americas, and any port province, right, seaport province of any nation that has it. It has a colonial nation in the Americas, which by now you should have. So let's see how much it's growing. It's growing by 1.2 per month in these places from just having a port of a colony, of a country with a New World colonial nation. And then I've given it a spread modifier from ideas and things. I'm guessing that's where that came from. I don't know why. So this has changed everything. Yeah, it's changed whether I want to go to war with Portugal. I want to go to war with Portugal. I don't want to go to war with these guys over here in Mucia. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this army down here. Aragon should help me out in this war, so I don't actually need to bring that guy back. We are going to bring our general up over here. Aragon should come on over. It'll be great. Spread the good news. And basically, I'm going to make sure that I take Algrave. Because it has the institution already embraced, and I want that. Yeah. No. Alright, so the Moroccan separatists have fired down there. I'm just going to go deal with them. We'll let Portugal go wherever it wants to go up here. Alright, our colony here has become self-sustaining, and we have a new colony. So we're going to put this as Spanish Colombia, and I don't actually know how to spell that. This is in... Come on. You're really gonna make me do this. Okay. It's an O. Hey. MBIA. So now that we have the colony established, and we know that it is of the right culture and right religion, now I'm actually going to get a new conquistador. And you'll notice that we have a mission that has been fulfilled. And this gives us claims, permanent claims on a ton of places. I wonder if I have to get the new month. It might be just a permanent claim over here. Be very interesting. We're going to declare this war as well. Oh, okay, so it's over here in Peru. Nice. So they're going to come on up, and at some point their army is going to show up, and it'll be okay. Just sit right here. And I'm going to take the cannon with the conquistador back over to the fort. I feel like that's important. We are going to go ahead and take the military tech at this point. We're not going to do the infantry, and I don't know if I've explained why yet. But when you switch out unit types, the unit type gets better, but those units lose all morale as they retrain into a better unit type. And when you're at war, that can be a problem if your enemy attacks you while you have 0 morale. So, yeah, we're not going to do that. And I will go ahead and just let the fort take care of bringing that back from our rebels. This is not necessarily something that I would suggest that you would do, declaring 2 wars at the same time. I always like to get mercantilism there on 2 different sides of the world, but it is good training. Fighting on 2 different sides of the world is something you're probably going to eventually have to figure out. So, not a terrible idea to get some training if a situation like this presents itself. But right now, basically, I know where the institution just spawned, and so I'm going to get that institution. Now here, you'll notice that they've trapped themselves in the corner. And so I'm going to split my forces and border them. And then I'm going to collapse in. They have nowhere to run. They'll have to actually fight me. And I take them out. So now I'm going to split up. And I have 5 different places. I'm going to go ahead and split up everyone. And so I'm going to go down here to the bottom. And every time I hit V, the bottom one leaves. So as long as that bottom one is over 1,000, they'll actually siege the province down. When it's not, like 866, I have to leave 2 to get them to be 1,000 or more. So that's my thinking as I went through there. And we're just going to siege Portugal down as quickly as possible. And really, probably as soon as we take a fort, they'll be willing to give up if I want to just take the 1 province. I might try and take these as well. I kind of want them to be colonizing. But in some sense, I also kind of don't. That's the question of whether I want to colonize by myself, colonize by subsidizing my own subjects, or allow Portugal to colonize for me. But they're doing mostly Africa. They're not going over here to the Americas yet, and that's where I really care about. So, one thing that you can do is if you go over here to vassalize, it would be more, because 81 plus 36, but as long as it's at 81, then the next war I could take them over completely, which would be really good. I also can go in here and see where the state is. Might take these 2 too, since I have the room, but I guess I don't have that much room. This is probably going to be enough, because that gives me stuff in Africa, places that I want it, and it also gives me stuff, it lowers them below 100. That's really, really good for me. And we're going to take this and I'm just going to take these top ones here, and I'm going to have them go down to Beja, and that will be occupying everything that they have up in the north, between me and my allies. So the Papal State one is done. Let's go ahead and send a new one to Denmark. My other ally now, they're not attacking me because they are probably way down the totem pole in terms of ability. It probably would be very stupid of them to attack. Now, I do have a free colonist that I haven't been using. I could send it here. Just be done. Ooh, they're already colonizing. I haven't even subsidized them. But what I think I'm going to actually do is put it here. And I want to give this Spanish Colombia this so that I can eventually give Carib to them as well. And then we'll probably leave them to their own devices the same way we're leaving the Caribbean. To their own devices. Now they are colonizing. But since I have the money, I am going to go ahead and subsidize these guys 2 ducats as well. Just so that... do it for 100 years. Just so that they will field an army as well. Because it is nice when you're facing other colonizers to be able to just simply ignore the New World because you know that your armies are better than theirs. Now my guess would be that Portugal will give up. I have no diplomats to send. Oh right, I used that diplomat to go talk to my vassal, or my colony. So Portugal wouldn't even care about this. So yeah, they're more than willing to give up. I could go ahead and take this one too, if I really wanted to, but I think saving the admin is a good idea. Basically, I like having the stuff in Africa, and I wanted the place that already has colonialism embraced here in Algarve. And so I'm going to get as much money as I can, and I'm going to get war reps, and we're going to have them revoke their core, and boom. So I'm going to core all, and I'm going to bring these units down here because we will have Portuguese separatists forming. And they might combine together with other places. Nope, that unrest has already gone down. Now we will also have unrest down here. We got colonies. Ooh. So you'll notice I now have 5 colonies. That's not great. I'm going to just raise the autonomy here, and I'm going to add all provinces to my... Oh, I don't have that right. That's a DLC. So now, obviously, I'm losing a lot of money because of colonial maintenance. And the last one is 20 of that. Which means we'd only be 4 down if we just gave up one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to recall that colonist one day. I'm going to abandon that colony. And I'm going to make sure that my 2 colonists are in these 2. Just to get them done as quickly as possible. There's a lot of ferocity in there. These rebels aren't really firing. I'm going to go ahead and move this unit to here, and we're going to attack those natives. It will cost a lot more because of how big they are. Oh good, the Ivory Coast grows. And I'm going to actually recall the colonist there. I'm not going to abandon that colony, but I'm going to send the colonist up here. Again, it's just to make sure that the 2 colonies that are furthest along get done first. It's my only mission right now. Besides getting this 57% fort done, come on. I could become Defender of the Faith. I do not wish to do that. What I wish instead is to build some buildings. Some buildings that are good. Now once I take this fort, we've taken the fort, good. We're going to go ahead and collapse on this army. And then I have a choice. Let me actually see. So there's an option here called Concede Colombia. When you have a colonial nation that is completely formed, named, all that stuff, this option becomes available. And nations will do this long before they would do any other peace deal. So you'll notice I'm only 40 reasons away from this, in spite of the fact that they will not exist when this is done. And also, if their army was still a thing, I believe, if their army was still a thing, if I hadn't defeated their army, then Concede Colombia would delete their army. They would not become rebels because the game wouldn't recognize that they have been annexed. If I were to just take the provinces, you'll notice that that's 54, but you'll notice I'm way further away because there is that would result in their annexation or vassalization, minus 46. That doesn't happen with the Concede. You also can take things that are inland with the Concede. So if I attack Carib and I tell them to concede Colombia, they'll do it very early in the war. And I could do it in spite of the fact that I couldn't actually take the province if I were fighting in a war, just on its own. Likewise here, I think this is actually colonial Colombia. I can take this. I can make them concede the region, assuming that I can take all of the land in terms of war score. I can make them do that in spite of the fact that I can't core any of it, and neither can they. But it'll just go. As soon as I take the land, it'll go to my colony. So that's something that's really, really good to do. Now, I think I'm going to try and do something like that. We're going to detach the cannons, and then I'm going to take the Conquistador, and I'm going to have him go through the Fog of War to my enemy. And we'll just leave the cannons there. Alright, the Empire has passed a reform. Probably not something you'll have to deal with. No guarantees, but probably not. And I'm going to just take 2 infantry, run over here, siege this down, and then bring back. Okay, the heir falls ill. You can decide at that point what you want to do. I'm 50. So I don't know for sure that I'll be able to get a new heir. It's only modified right now by plus 10%. Should be even more than that. Well, no, I can't get royal marriages with anyone. So we have a 50% chance that he'll die, and I gain 5 legitimacy, and I lose a bunch of money. Or there's a 75% chance that he'll die, and I gain 30 legitimacy. Not only is that 25% chance not really that large in the grand scheme of things, I need that legitimacy. So I'm just going to pray for him, and I need the money too. And only that, I got a new heir, and the new heir was better than the old heir anyway. It all worked out. Fantastic. Alright, so here, I'm not going to hire a skill 3 guy. I'm already losing money, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just take the prestige. And we have taken that province, so we're going to move right back up here. And we just kind of wait for these to go. Are you over here yet? You are. And you'll notice this does not cost 5. This costs 50. But we are way ahead of time. We're not taking any technology or ideas for that, so I think it's going to be just fine. We'll attack those. And then the Ivory Coast, same deal. We're going to come over here. And we're going to attack those ones. Now, they rose up as soon as I walked in, which is nice, but we still have to attack them. And that's worth 60. So, you know, a lot more in Africa that you have to deal with that. But not terrible. So we're just going to basically be working on trying to get these forts to fall, and I'm going to try and go... I'm going to go ahead and move to speed 5. All I'm going to be doing is trying to get these forts to fall. I'm going to check my rebels real quick. Okay, so that's the Rio. We have an army there already. Yeah, I'll take that. All I'm doing is waiting for the stuff to go. So we have this one done. I'm going to just take the cannons and move them over. I got a gift from Austria. Thank you, Austria. All right. I have a lot of prestige. We're just going to do that one. Gain some of this, and I need to get the inflation back going. I remember that. So I have taken them. So you'll notice Concede Colombia is a thing. It always jumps me over here. One more thing about that is that you'll notice that I have a free diplomat. Normally, it would take a good couple of months to come back from the Americas. But I can also, by the way, take money, and then I could take war reps. That won't give me anything worthwhile, but it does give me 2 prestige. I can make them break alliances and things. These are not normally things that are left for you in peace deals where they're annexed. But because it doesn't recognize Concede as an annex, it doesn't matter. There we go. And so now, basically when this one is done, they should be able to core this on their own. So I don't even have to connect that if I don't want to, but I might still, just to be nice to them. I think I will go ahead and raise the autonomy. But you'll notice that one day... Oh, they did change that so that... Yeah, no, sorry, it wasn't 50 days. It's free. The Concede is so broken that, you know, the next day I can move the guy. And you'll notice also that this is now Colombia. They haven't cored it. They can't core it. Not until this colony is done and they actually have colonial range over on this side. But they can have that there. And so now we're going to come over here. We're going to tell them to concede. Give me money. And then, you know, war reps. If they had any allies or anything, you know, we can still do that. And no one cares. Boom. Watch the diplomat. Watch the land. One day. Diplomat's back. Oh, that's there. And now they will be able to core this one. Because they're right next door. I don't know if they have the admin to core it or not, but they will be able to core it. We don't have to deal with it. Now we are not at war. Now we will increase our infantry up. I always like to have the one with the most yellow pips. Those are the attack pips. And I think that will do this episode. We'll go ahead and bring our armies together. But I hope you have liked this episode. If you did, please do comment down below how much you liked this episode. And I will see you next time. I'm going to build spy network on Carib just to remind myself next time. Go back to speed 4 just to remind myself next time. And I will see you next time.